Long day lay low. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Get to Know Your Creator. I am Jason Bascom. Determined to get the campaigns out, fulfilled, and in your hands, and high quality content, great stories, great art. Stuff you can't get at the big two. At least some stuff you can't. There's some stuff out there that isn't too bad. I would bring on my co-host as per usual, but she's late. So getting boba tea. Boba tea, everybody. Stupid, but her and Phil, I swear. But that leads us to the point as to where we can get to the guest of honor, the main man. We got the great RAIDEN Radio. What's going on, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
All right. Not bad. I woke up really late today. I was up till like 6 a.m. last night with Shelby. It was fun, man, because he started a stream on his channel, and I was gonna go live, but he went live, and I'm like, I was just gonna go live because I had nothing else to do. I was like, I'll just watch Shelby, and then he sent me the link, and so we were hanging out, and then we jumped over to my channel because he's like, oh, you were gonna go live, so that way he could paint and not like worry about the chat as much. So dude, we went from like 1 a.m. to 6. It was brutal. So so I overslept. But yeah. But a good day. So short day, but good day. How's yours?
Pretty good. I ran earlier, but it's 100 now, but I had to get out and run before, like when it was still 90.
Right.
And then, man, it's just that time of year where like I get back from a run and I get in the shower and then I sweat for another half hour. So I have to like change again. So
yeah,
it's freaking hot in here.
I lived in Florida for 10 years. I live in Ohio, actually. But I lived in Florida for 10 years. I loved it. But yes, I know the feeling where, like, you shower and then right away you're, like, sticky and sweaty, gross, just by stepping out of the shower. So, I'm not a runner guy, but I like doing the weights. That's what I prefer to do. But I
want to do that, but I have no idea, like, where do you start? You know what I mean? Because, like, everybody has like a routine and they're all different. They're like, oh, you got to start here. And I'm just like, all right, I know how to run. I can do that. I don't need instruction on how to do that. So
hey, cardio is good for you, man. Not everybody gets enough of it, you know? So that is a really good thing for you. And as far as like weights and stuff, if anything, go to like Planet Fitness and then get one of the trainers that they have, like, you know, the instructor. They can help you start off. That way they can guide you to what's good for you and go from there.
Yeah, I just worry that I would like hurt myself.
Yeah, always start light, man. Even if it's like 20 pounds benching, you might look like a wuss, but it doesn't matter as long as you're not. Because that's, dude, I tore my rotator cuff at work, so I can't work out for a while. But yeah, you can hurt yourself pretty easily, man. You know, it's not hard to do. And I hurt my other shoulder a bunch of times just lifting weights. You know, I'm not a big dude, but I just exceeded my limit. So it's not hard to do. We got a chat. We're gonna say hi to the chat real quick, and then we're gonna dive deep into the raiding. We got Alex VRB in the chat. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Everybody hit that like, share, and subscribe button, by the way. And if you don't want to hear us talk at all, you just like, I want to see the campaign, it's pinned to the top of the chat, and it's in the description below. So go ahead and click that and back it, and Bob's your uncle. You know, you don't have to worry about hearing us yabber on for a while. Looks like we got Holder in the chat. My eyes are terrible, so if it's somebody else, I apologize greatly. Or it could have been Buddha Bear. It looked like Buddha Bear, maybe. We got duck bacon. I like duck bacon. Yeah, everybody knows my eyes. I should put on my glasses. That helps a little bit. But yeah, you've been around a while. You've been in the scene for quite some time. When did you kind of get into the indie scene? Not with your books or anything, but just like following everything. When did you start like doing that?
I would say probably my senior year of university. I was in a comic studies program, and the professor was having us go over. We had a project where we would check out like comic book journalism, and that I kind of found your boy Zach through that, you know, by that means. And then it was kind of like the rabbit hole. Like I just dove right in. Yeah. Because I just found I just found that like a lot of what was being said by like mainstream comic book press just did not align with reality at all.
Right.
So yeah, that was kind of my start. And at the time I was doing like creative writing, and what I was finding was that I'm more of a short story teller. and comic books were just like the perfect medium for my style of storytelling.
Right.
Like I'm not really verbose. Um, I'm not going to spend 2 pages describing a rock, like a lot of novelists do.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, the marriage of, my writing and gorgeous art is like peanut butter and chocolate to me.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. And like your boy is a lot of people's gateway into and we could say Comics Gate, and some people are Comics Gate, some people are indie, but your boy is kind of both in a way, but not both. Like it's weird. So, but he's a great gateway into like I call it the underground scene because it's not the mainstream. And a lot of people found your boy and they were like, yeah, you're right. Like listening to his critiques of the comics and the industry, and like him showing everything that's been happening. And I actually found mine just through Frege though, because I came in through that artistic view, that artistic venue, because I was following Frege forever, and I didn't find out your boy until well after Frege. So my pathway was a little different than a lot of people. A lot of people do say your boy or Ethan. Like those are the two main ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hey, they're both great. I follow them both. I hang out with Bar, who works with your boy. So I love it. It's fun. But yeah, that's cool. And your boy has got some good takes on it. And so were you always into comic books, or was it just like you were into, like you said, you were more into novels and short stories, and this just happened to fit your style?
It was more of like a return. So like I read a lot of comics in the '90s, and I'm currently in the process of kind of getting caught up on like what you would call the canon, the history of comics.
Right.
I don't know if you know Aldous, but he's a great resource for that.
I know. Yeah, Aldous is actually the editor of Frog G. He's one of the editors of Frog G. Yeah.
I always recommend, or I'm trying to recommend, like The Gutter. If you haven't checked out his show, it's really great. Just so it's still a process of learning. I would say that like my areas that I know pretty well is pretty much 50s and 60s and then 90s. So there are a lot of gaps in there.
Right.
Yeah, I just kind of grew up reading, like basically, how you just go to the library and you could check out. They usually only have like 5 to 10 comics. That was pretty much my routine, was to go like read whatever was there. So I wouldn't even get to read like an entire series. It would just be whatever the library had. Yeah, whatever anybody else had returned at the moment. That's pretty much what I grew up on.
So you're big into like the Shadow and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, for like 90s stuff, a lot of like Punisher, Wolverine.
Nice.
Punisher versus Wolverine.
Dude, the Punisher versus Wolverine stuff is really good.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with Shelby. It's like, because they totally destroyed the character, that the Punisher comics, like, and I don't know if you're into this kind of stuff at all, but graded and like selling, the first like Punisher #1, War Journal #1 aren't worth as much at a high grade as like some new comic slapped and graded. It's so ridiculous that they tore that character down so much and ruined his reputation so much that even the people who are selling the books are devaluing them, because those should be insanely high. He's a pivotal key character in the Marvel universe, and he's just constantly which is weird. Wolverine is one of the most violent characters in Marvel Comics, next to the Punisher. Wolverine's put up on a pedestal. Everybody loves him because of Hugh Jackman and all whatever. But the Punisher, for some reason, just because he's got guns, people like, I don't get it, dude. I love the Punisher. I think he's fantastic.
Well, yeah, when I was a kid, he was like, he was that dude. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody knew the Punisher.
Yeah, dude. Like, did you see the Dolph Lundgren Punisher one?
No, I saw what was I can never remember the name of the actor who played him.
He's
one of those. Thomas Jane, yeah. I really like that, and I really like the short movie that you know what I mean? That was like that
Dirty Laundry.
Yeah, the short film. That was awesome.
That was actually really good. Like I was very surprised when I watched it as to how good it was. Like it kind of embodied how the Punisher really is. It was great. I loved it. Yeah. And Ray Stevens did a great job too. I really like his Punisher as well. It's just that movie that like Jigsaw was a little, and his brother, crazy whatever he was. He was a little over the top. It was a little hammy acting, but it was so violent. Like he blows somebody up with a bazooka. Like, how awesome is that, So it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's not usual characters that most people follow, Punisher anyway. Like Wolverine, a lot of people love him. But a lot of people started loving Wolverine after the movies came out. Like, they loved him still. Comic fans loved Wolverine, but
Yeah.
normies really didn't, you know. And then it was, you know, the movies are what made Hugh Jackman's so great. It's like you do understand Hugh Jackman is a miscast because he's insanely tall, you know. It's like
Yeah.
Wolverine's a short dude. But yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. Yeah, do you have the what is it? Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Punisher, Hearts of Darkness. I think it is.
No, I
Oh,
don't.
it's a graphic novel, so good, dude. John Romita Jr. artwork, it's fantastic. It's a great book. It's a trade paperback. You can pick it up at like 10, 15, 20 bucks.
I will add that to my list. I have.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great story. It's fun, you know, action packed. But yeah, so you were mainly like a Marvel guy, and then like you didn't hit Image up or anything. Like you didn't veer towards those ends because honestly, when you want to talk, you know, if you're talking story, Image really ain't the place to go because you're a writer. So, you know, Image had cool looking artwork and fantastic energy, but their stories were kind of lame, you know. So you were more
Yeah,
of a
I
Marvel
mean,
dude.
no, I was really a dabbler. Like the Max, the Vertigo
Oh, you
stuff.
just hit me right in the heart, man. Nice. Sam Keith, the Max, is one of my favorites. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Vertigo,
that kind
Sandman,
of.
stuff like that.
Yeah, the Max kind of changed me because it was like when I got back into comics in college for this comic studies class,
Mm-hmm.
and I was learning about really really closely analyzing a text and doing that for comic books. It just kind of changed everything for me, and it made me think about like with the Max, it's like you read a floppy, and there's only maybe 2 pages where that take place in reality,
What's up, Henry? Yeah, because the
and
rest is in the Outback. Yeah.
yeah, and so it's, I mean, it's it's a comic book, but it's really more about life than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really rooted in humanity and extracting meaning from things. So that was like a massive influence on me. Just like I had never
What's up,
thought
Henry?
of comic books in that way, as like a vessel to explore the human condition.
Right. Yeah, well, that's the thing with Sam. Actually, a lot of his books, like Zero Girl, The Hollows, his writing is more like life based in some kind of allegory or metaphor, and you
Yeah.
kind of have to look at the deeper meanings behind it because you'll be reading it and like looking at the artwork like this is whacked out. I really don't have no idea what's happening, but once you analyze it and follow it, like and see where the pacing is, what the characters are talking about, where the story develops into, he really is talking about life itself. Like it's really great, and like even the like studies of the mind and stuff like that. He's really good at it and making it entertaining. You know, not just like here's a psychological type book. Enjoy. He and his artwork is just so out there and wacky. It really fits with the writing. So yeah, he's great. I love Sam. And you mentioned Sandman. Isn't that Neil Gaiman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, another great. Too bad. Like I don't know. Have you watched the show? I haven't watched the show.
No,
No.
I
Yeah.
those things like I don't have the energy to get upset or angry when things are
What's up,
made.
Pen?
When people make things when things are made out of things I like, um, I don't have the energy to get mad at them, so I just avoid them entirely. Like
Right.
I look at it like, if you think of like a Mexican dollar store where they have, Spider-Man and Bart Simpson on a toy and it says Spider Dude, you don't get mad that exists. It's
True.
something you don't recognize that it's real, so you don't get angry at it. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's kind of like the philosopher's attitude of properties being dug up this way.
Yeah. See, that's a smart way to go about it. Like, I mean, there's plenty of people like you've seen the other channels, like, and people do get, and I honestly do get sometimes. I get a little upset.
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah, but usually it's more of a I'm not very shocked, or it's more of the reaction is of course they did this, or
Yeah.
it's just like I still
Indiana
have
Jones hurt me a little bit. Um,
that. See, but yeah, if you're a huge fan of it, I could get it. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: I have several friends that really like that movie. Like it's not like they loved it like they did the originals, but they're like it wasn't really all that bad as what everyone else made it out to be. And then I know plenty of people that like you just said, like it's like it just hit me, so. Once again, though, you have those different varying opinions, which are actually pretty good. I don't want to hang out with people that just say yes to me all the time. I want
Yeah.
people to be like, "Oh, I don't really like it," and then the next person below me maybe be like, "Oh, I loved it." It's like, that's great. That's humanity. And you're allowed to. Like, even if they're destroying properties, people are allowed to like it. They might be wrong, but they're allowed to like it, you know?
Right.
And yeah, so Indy was a big thing with you. You really like the franchise?
Yeah. I mean, particularly the Last Crusade, because it's a father son
Dude,
adventure,
I love The Last Crusade. Yeah.
and I saw it in the theater with my father. So there's just a lot of
Sentimental attachment to it.
yeah, it just
Yeah.
meant a lot to me, and it was really the perfect way that the series should have ended right there. There should never have been that movie with
Hmm.
Shia LaBeouf. Um, I
Huh.
just none of that exists to me. It's not real.
Well,
So in
they
my head,
write
it
off
ended
it.
with a third.
Right, they write off into the sunset. Like,
Yeah,
you can't ask for a better ending.
yeah,
You
we
know,
don't need any more.
no, and that, to me, I think they did that because it was the last one. Like, to
Mhm.
them, they're like, we're not going to do anymore, so they write off. It's like a western. They write off into the sunset. You know, game over, movie's done. What's going on, some person? Good to see you, everybody. By the way, if you want to hear us talk, you want to back the book, check it out. Listen, it's in the top of the chat as well as pinned into the description below. And look who's coming to the party late. Got Angela Curry. What's going on, Angela?
Hi.
Hey, Angela.
Hi. Hello. RAIDEN Radio.
Hey, nice to meet you.
I've been.
Okay?
You sound fine. Yeah.
That's okay.
I've been doing my best with the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. So what are some of your then? Because you said you were into the comics like off and on, like you had a gap there. So were you mainly then more into like novels like Kurt Vonnegut, Stephen King, Dostoevsky, stuff like that, or like were you short story kind of guy? I know Stephen King has some, but
Okay, so when I went back to school, I was originally going to become a math teacher, and I had a literature professor that kind of saw a bit of a spark in me and got me into more of like an advanced kind of class, and just really changed the way I thought about storytelling. Um, when I was in school, I knew I wanted to tell stories, but for whatever reason, everybody thought my poetry was a little bit better than my prose. So I entered a creative writing program for poetry. Um, so that's a little bit of context for Eudaimonia. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but it was my first comic. It's a World War One story, but it's told entirely using poetic meter.
oh,
Um,
okay.
so it's basically like it's kind of like Beowulf or Shakespeare sonnets, where it's poetry, but it's constructing like a narrative out of that. Um, and that kind of stuck with me in terms of like the short story poem. Um, it took me a while to kind of stretch my legs out a little bit and get into more long form writing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're asking about influences,
Mm-hmm.
trying to think, Eric Remarque, Claude McKay, basically a lot of the writers from like the early 1900s were pretty much my jam.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah. Dante. He has in the Inferno is
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah, it's poetry but told in a story format. Yeah.
yeah.
I only read
find
the,
that
yeah.
I find that fascinating too because, like I mentioned, Beowulf. Beowulf was actually originally told in poetic verse, and about how Beowulf predates paper, right? So that's how
Yeah.
stories had to pass from place to place. Is somebody would go and memorize it and then perform it. So in order to be able to memorize it, that's why it was done in poetic verse, because things like rhyme and meter make it easier to memorize. So those were the stories that passed around or had like the greater reach.
Yeah, and then they turn into like folk songs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. It's a different way of getting into the things. What's up, Ice Queen? Sorry, I try to say hi to the new people as they come in.
Yeah.
No, that's like usually people are like I said, they get more into like Stephen King is a big one, obviously, but more people like get into those bigger things, and you're kind of more into the. I like the oddity of it. You know what I mean? It's not a very common way to get into the stuff. So you weren't even thinking about being a writer then. You were going to be a teacher.
Yeah, no, it really. I had moved away from home, and you know how like when you leave home, you no matter where you're from, you want to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would think a lot about my father. And my father was like an insurance salesman, but he was a natural storyteller. Like when he told a joke, everybody hung on his word. And so that's the person that I grew up around. And, every boy wants to be his father. So that was what I emulated is telling of the telling of a story, the telling of a joke, and kind of building connections with people through the formulation of a story. Um, I reflected on some more, and my grandfather, he was a preacher, he was a minister,
Mm.
and that's what a minister does. Is the minister spends his week, living life, but trying to find something to put to connect to the gospel on Sunday. So when he goes to talk to the congregation, he's there telling a story. So it's kind of a romanticized way of me saying that, like, I come from a line of storytellers, basically.
Yeah, you really do. That's very interesting and fascinating, and it wasn't an initial thing you were going to get into anyway, but you still come from that line, so that spark was kind of in you, unconscious and subconsciously. And you're luckily enough, a professor or teacher saw it and kind of guided you in that path, and you love doing it, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you ever check out my channel, that's mostly what it is. I don't do streams. I don't just I don't just hit record and let it go. It's I call it video essay, but it's really, like, a lot of it is just storytelling and kind of organizing my thoughts into talking about whatever it is I feel like talking about that week. Sometimes it's writing, movies, food, whatever I find interesting.
Yeah, and that your channel is in the description below. If anyone would go sub to Raiden Radio over on YouTube, check it out. How did you get that name, Raiden Radio? I mean Raiden is the god of thunder and stuff like that. So how'd you get Raiden Radio?
I think it was actually from when I was, like, in my late teens, and the first time I went back to school, I wanted to go into radio, and I don't know, just it sounded cool, so if you look, my first video is from like 20 years ago, but I let it go forever, and then when I came back to it, I was like, yeah, I'll just stick with Raiden Radio.
Yeah.
Well, nice. Yeah, I mean, like Unhinged, my channel, actually, I started it in like 2010, I think, or something like that, 2009. But yeah, I never touched it as well. Like, you know what I mean? I just did, because in college you had to have something. And just like you said, 20 years, let alone, that's crazy, because imagine if you had actually produced like something like once a week or once a day, like your channel would be huge, right? You know what I mean? Like, and I always think that way too. I'm like, man, if I had actually done something every day or like once a week from the get-go, I would be monetized a long time ago, whatever. And but then it might have been a different path. Like, would I be then a YouTuber? Because I'm an artist. Like, you're on YouTube, you're technically a YouTuber. That's what.
Well, funnily enough, I actually did that.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember the band Black Dahlia Murder?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember in the early days of YouTube when people were making videos that were lyric interpretations, where you couldn't really understand the lyrics, but people would write lyrics that kind of sounded like what it was?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I made a Black Dahlia Murder MS Paint lyric interpretation, and it got
Nice.
it got 100,000 views, and this was like way long. Yeah, so if you go to my channel now, you'll see I have like 170,000 views, and 100,000 of those are from that video I did like 20 years ago.
Oh, wow, that's pretty. Yeah,
That's
I know
awesome.
Pearl Jam has like a lot of those that people like made up lyrics to and stuff like that.
Yeah, I went viral like before going viral was a thing.
Yeah, you did. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. And imagine, like I said, imagine if we had just every day kind of stuck with it.
Also,
go
rest
ahead.
in peace. Their singer died a couple months ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, they've been around a while.
Yeah.
That sucks. That kind of sucks, man. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of them, but I don't want to hear that. That's
Yeah.
They're still big in the scene. So, rest in peace, dude.
I don't know what it is about metal singers. They're like wrestlers. I mean, they just die in their 40s, and nobody really knows why.
If they're lucky, they live longer. Like that's like you just saw my intro. I'm huge into metal, and I hang out with Death Metal Hero. I hang out with Luke and stuff like that. We get along. I actually just saw Pantera Lamb of God on Friday. So
Oh, wow.
And my friend who took me, she's a huge Lamb of God fan, and she's like, yeah, Randy plans on retiring soon. And she's like, I'm so sad about that, because she loves Lamb of God. She loves Randy. He even shaved his head. He doesn't have his dreads anymore, but they sounded fantastic though, so it was a great show. But yeah, but you got Randy who lived, but look at Phil, major heroin addict, he even no deed, and he's still alive. But then you got Dime who gets shot on stage, so it's like, it's tragic how some of these play out, and like the Black Dahlia Murder singer, dead, like they who knows what. I don't know if it's the intensity on stage that they go through, because dude, watching them perform, some of them are just insanely just physical. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, like Corey Taylor, he's had 2 knee replacements, so it's just insane, and they're just singers, like they're just musicians.
When Dimebag was killed, that was like the craziest thing.
That
like,
was insane, dude. My friend and I are huge Pantera fans, and he called me up and told me about it, and we were just like put on Tens and Floods and Planet Caravan and all that stuff, and yeah, dude, it was.
Do you remember all the people who blamed Phil for that?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I never. Well, it's because I guess in the dude's manifesto he blamed like Phil and stuff like that. I can't remember the exact. I think he did, but yeah, everybody was blaming Phil. It's like that doesn't make any sense. And the theory was that like if Phil hadn't broken up the band, Dime would still be alive. It's like you don't know any of that. So yeah, but people are blaming Phil. It's like no, the guy who got on stage is the guy you blame that shot him. That's the guy you blame. Like you can't blame Phil for that. Yeah, dude, I could go all over the place with metal. I love it.
Henry said that Joe Sontag posted a video from a Pantera show today, so maybe
he might have gone.
in
Michigan.
Or maybe
I was
the one that you went to.
I was in Pennsylvania. Oh
yeah. Yeah. No, but it's just wondering. Yeah, maybe you went to that one, or is that one that they were there?
No, it was Pennsylvania.
What part of PA?
It was like it sounded like a Burgers Town. It wasn't Burgers Town, but it sounds like Burgers Town.
Okay.
Close to Pittsburgh,
Hamburg?
I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's close to Pittsburgh. No, it was like Burger something. Or
I'm
Burgess.
originally from the other side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been to Pittsburgh Comic Con, Philadelphia Comic Con. Actually, my brother went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. So yeah, I'm a little familiar with. I live in Northeast Ohio, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I live just outside Cleveland, but I don't like the weather.
My condolences.
Thank you.
That lovely lake weather.
I've always heard that Cleveland just smells.
You know what? I don't notice it because I'm from here, but if you're away a while and then you travel through it, yeah, you kind of notice it a little bit. But yeah, well, and hey, what is it? The Ohio River caught on fire, or Lake Erie.
What?
So I mean, it was a long time ago. Ago. Yeah, Lake Erie caught on fire because of all the crap floating around in it. So
wow.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
So do you play any music, or you just love music?
I used to play drums really poorly, and my wife got me an electronic drum kit for Christmas, so I'm playing even more poorly.
Nice.
And
But you can wear headphones and do it. Yeah, but you can wear headphones.
I can, but I don't know what it is. Like, my weakness when I play drums is I was never really good at the kick drum. And the kick drum on this thing is so loud that all I hear when I play it was like, mistake, 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 mistake.
Oh, no.
Plus, there's no double pedal, so metal is basically off the table.
Yeah, if there's no double pedal, you can't do...
I can play 16th notes, and that's about as fast as I can get them.
Hey, I mean, keep at it. You never know. You might be playing, practice makes perfect.
What do we say? Today we were, because I'm starting to learn Excel through work, and I guess they were saying that if you stick with something and do it 20 or 50 hours or something like that, that you should improve your skill or something like that. I'll have to look up the facts. I'm probably totally blowing it, but if you keep at it, basically, that you should get better at it.
Yeah.
Practice does make perfect.
Yeah, and that's what they say. Like, you put in your 1,000 hours. Like, that's how they say you put in 1,000 hours, which means they're good at it. So. Yeah. I don't know how true that is. I just think, if you work at it, even 20 minutes a day or something, like it's no different than drawing or even writing a prose.
Yeah, I was
going to
say writing.
Yeah,
that's the thing that I always tell people who want to write is, a lot of people write like they want the thing that they are writing to be the best thing they've ever written. But the reality is that if you zoom out on a writer's career, the odds of what you're currently working on being the best are minimal. Like, your best writing is way out ahead of you, and you need to keep doing it in order to get there. So no matter what it is you're writing, you should be writing like every day, or at least trying to write as many times a week as you can.
Yeah, and that's like I live, like you said, I came with Dan Frega, and his motto is draw every day, draw every day,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
right. If you're an artist, draw every day. If you're a writer, write every day. And I even tell everybody, I don't care if you're drawing for 5 minutes and that's it,
Yeah.
and you stop. If you write a few sentences, like you're flexing your muscle, you're flexing your brain, your creativity, and you're keeping it fresh and in there. And it gets to the point actually where you do it so much that if you don't do it, you kind of
Yeah.
feel crappy. Like you
Yeah.
just like, I didn't do anything today. Even if you had a good day, you enjoyed the day, you went to the movies, you hung out with your friends, you got a soda pop, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, you'd be like, man, I didn't write anything. I didn't get anything done. I ain't got
Yeah.
nothing done, and you feel like crap. Yeah. So it gets.
And I say
addictive.
that, but I include myself in that. Like if I have a day that I don't write something, don't ritualize it. Don't make it something that you do regularly, and you'll find you naturally get better.
Yeah, because everybody talks about that. Oh, I need my muse. I need my spark of inspiration. It's like if you do it every day, the muse is always there at that point. You don't. You just do it. Like it's like because you have to. You feel it is like a drug. Like that's why I said when I tore my shoulder, I was in the sling at the beginning, and I couldn't really move it at all. So I couldn't draw. I was like going insane, and I was like fidgeting and stuff. Like it's like a drug almost. You need to get it out. You need to get that creativity out.
Yeah.
If you do it every day. Once you start to slack on it, it's like working out. No different. If you stop working
Yeah.
out for a while, you stop running for a while, it's going to be really tough getting back into that groove of things.
Yeah.
And you're gonna find
That's basically what it means to form a commitment to something. Like if you want to improve, either your craft, your art, your physical your health, it's something you have to turn into something that you have to do.
Right. And speaking of which, how do you go about doing it? How do you tackle it? Are you a computer guy? Are you a keyboard guy? Note and pad and paper? Like how do you approach things?
I do my best work in the morning. What I do is I associate other things with it. So my morning has to start with coffee, music, writing, and
Oh.
it doesn't matter, how long. I just have to do that every single day. What it is I end up working on, it varies from day to day. Some days it's a script for a video. Some days it's, right now it's, the New Orleans, my next book in the pipeline. I have like other projects that I really need to get back to, and I'm starting to feel that itch. But yeah, right now it's primarily that one.
Now, do you find being a writer, it's a little easier to bounce back and forth between projects since because as an artist, it takes a long time to draw a panel even. It takes a while to get there. So it's a little further process. So it's harder for us to maybe jump, I could work on this page and then I could work on that page, but it's a longer process. So do you feel like it's a little easier maybe, or do you find it a little more difficult to get into the mindset of those characters and to, get familiar with them again?
I find that the most important thing is to be honest with yourself and walk away. If something isn't working, step away from it and let it, just put it on the back burner for a while, let it simmer in your mind. Because what you'll find is you'll find yourself kind of longing to go back to it. And in that longing, you'll find whatever hurdles that were in your way to be not as big as they once were. Like that happened to me earlier today. I had stepped away from a story and I was in the shower after running and I was thinking about it and I was like, I had kind of written myself into a corner and I was like, oh, here's a great way, out of it. And, so I think the most important thing, like I said, is just to be honest. Sometimes a break is what's needed. And if you find yourself, without anything in the front of your mind to work on, that might be a good time to start something else and just, again, treat it like an exercise, the exercise of writing.
And because we talked about exercise earlier, and I don't, like I said, I'm not a cardio guy, but I heard quite often running, actually, people come up with really great ideas while they're running. Does that happen with you, or is it after usually?
No, but here's why. I kind of developed this system for running because I can't run the whole time. I alternate between running and walking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I developed this system that allows me to fine tune it where I will start running and I will count every single step in my brain. And let's say I run 100 steps, I stop. and then I'll walk for 100 steps. And then once I get to 100, and what that does is the counting kind of distracts my brain from, the catastrophe that is happening to your body when you run. Like your heart rate explodes, you're sweating, your knees hurt, your ankles hurt. But the counting makes me not think about that. And
That's
then
good.
by having that, once I have that baseline, now I can fine tune it. So, okay, I feel good. I'm going to add 10 steps. And then,
Yeah.
100 becomes 110 and then 90. And I can keep kind of like tinkering with it to kind of force an improvement over time, which is like, I know that sounds completely insane, but like for my primitive brain, it just kind of works. Like, and then, so walking time is usually thinking time, but and then, like you said, after the run, that's really when I get, kind of opens up, gets your body active and
Right.
allows you to brainstorm a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, and this is a weird analogy of it, but that's like saying, if you have a headache, squeeze your finger, you like cause another pain somewhere, maybe it'll distract your brain from that pain to another pain that isn't as bad. Maybe.
Yeah.
Eat a hot pepper.
Yeah. So it's I can see how it's kind of like that, and you're distracting your body with your mind. It's mind over matter. So it makes perfect sense. Yeah, that's really dope, man. It's a good way to go about it. Oh, sorry, I got a notification. What kind of music do you listen to before? Because you said music. Do you listen to music while you write then? And like, what is it metal? Because I can't do that. If I'm writing, I gotta have classical because there's no words.
Yeah.
I can't have words. So
Typically jazz.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
Thelonious Monk, Miles Davis. I'll usually just throw in a mix. Kind of Blue is probably my favorite jazz record of all time.
Okay. Yeah, I like Miles Davis. I'm not big into jazz though. Like I can appreciate Davis, but I'm not.
Yeah, I liked him
huge
before
jazz
he
fan.
got into the heroin.
Usually, yeah. Usually the heroin kind of takes things down a notch. People don't do heroin, okay? Just a little public service announcement for you.
Hot take.
Hot take. But yeah, like when I write, I can't have any words. I know there's some people that they'll put on anything. I'm like, I don't know how you, some people, they have to have dead silence, like complete dead silence. Like they can't work if there's any noise. I'm like, I just can't do that. It's just odd because I mean, especially with music, to me, art and music, they just go hand in hand. I know music is art, blah blah blah, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like art and music, writing and music, it all just goes together. There's a reason why poets hang out with musicians and artists and stuff. We all hang out together because there's some weird energy that we tap into that some of us don't even know how or why we do it. There's that weird, like we were talking about that drug, that urge. Like we don't know why we have it. It's just something that's there, and we kind of associate with each other in some way, even if that art is of a different medium. So, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I hung out with a lot of musicians. It was just a thing, and I would sometimes draw their banners and stuff. Did you find that to be the case with you, or
What was the question?
just like were you hanging out with like musicians, or did you hang out with like visual artists or like writers? Like, what were your kind of like, your atmosphere growing up, like, or was it just like regular things going on, like going to the mall?
I mean, growing up, not a lot. Like I knew a bunch of people that were in like really crappy punk bands, but it was the flavor was more like, can we actually let a venue? Can we get them to let us play there for some reason? So nowhere near like the talent level. I was in art club in school, but again, I knew people that were into art and I could draw, but my whole thing is like I could only draw things like looking at them. So conjuring anything out of my mind, I cannot draw it. So I didn't really have that growing up a lot. It really wasn't until much later, and it was a lot more. It was mostly writers more than anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
College level, like I went to a big university, the University of Oregon.
Okay.
And even there's like no
So
scene.
Jack,
For,
I'm just
yeah,
wait. Is that
there's
right?
like no
Okay.
scene. Yeah. There's like no
Okay,
scene
right.
for people actually making their own comics. Like I went to a couple clubs to try and see, if there were any artists there, and everything they showed me was like awful, like beyond awful. Like it was like worse than like the crappiest zine you've ever encountered.
That's
Like I've seen better art in a metal club or bathroom.
Oh, the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No.
Well, speaking of that, like then, how did you go about finding an artist, and how do you kind of work
Yeah.
with one? Are you very strict, or are you like you give them a little more playtime?
My method has become um, looking for artists online, different communities. But I think the extra step that I take is instead of just looking through portfolios and trying to pick an artist from that, I found it to be better to just pay them to do one page. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't
Sample
work, it
pitch,
doesn't
yeah.
work. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
just spend a little bit of money to make sure that you found like a good fit for what you're doing.
Right.
And I think in the long haul, that's yielded some pretty good results. I think Michael Oden might do that too. He and I are kind of like the perennial artist hunters on the internet.
Yeah, Odin's great. Yeah, he's a good dude. I had him on last week, I think. Yeah, so
Yes, you did.
yeah, good. I've known Odin for quite a while now. He's a really good dude. But yeah, so whenever you're working with the artist, then like I said, are you a little strict, or do you like this is what I definitely want? Like, are you like Alan Moore, where you're like, I gotta have 4 paper clips in the pages that are stapled on like, are you like that, or do you let them play around?
I think it depends on the artist. I think that's one of the things I need to get better at is being less restrictive, or in my kind of collaborations, and letting the artist kind of be them a little bit better. So it's something I'm trying to get better at. Like, I'm actively trying to get better at that.
Yeah, because I mean, I've never worked with a writer yet, because like I've done Absolute and Frog G now, but I mean, I guess with Frog G I'm kind of working on there because Inkspots and we bounce back and forth, but we're still doing it ourselves. So like we allow ourselves all the playtime we want because we're both artists, and we're making it ourselves. So but as an artist, I am the kind of, with my style, I prefer to be like, look, I follow the rule of cool. I understand you may want things in this specific way, but trust me. I've done this for a little bit. I kind of know.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say though, like if you want, hey, I will really want an airplane in there and it has to say, hashtag fresh spots. Fine, cool. Let's do it. Like, you're adamant, but if there's like, a bird's eye view will look better here than a worm's eye. You got to trust me. Like, so I think like having that trust with your collaborative team, it really goes a long way. Like I have a few people that are like, hey, I really would love for you to ink some of my stuff. And I'm like, look, if I ink it, I'm going to hijack it because I'm going to add my flavor. And especially with my eyes, I'm going to do it. It's going to look a little different. It's going to be yours. But so I think having that looseness, but also having it the way you want it's hard to get in a way, because like you said, you want it your way. It's your story. It's your baby. It's your thing. I fully get that. And finding that happy medium, it's really tricky to get. It takes practice. What's up, Past Master Dan? Good to see you. And speaking of books, let's pull it up, because you got a couple things out there in the works, in the stratospheres. And I'm going to apologize. I apologize to Raiden ahead of time already that I didn't upload the trailer as I normally do. Is this it? Yeah, it's from my comic. To help it from buffering, so when we play it might buffer. I don't know, but so we got your first project here, which is live. It's on From My Comic. We got Luke Stone over there doing a great job. I backed a couple things already over there, and pretty happy with my results so far. How we discussed how you're liking Fund My Comic.
I mean, that's kind of what this whole thing is. It's kind of an experiment. I'm intrigued. But so far, it seems to be running good. I didn't even have to hit, a go live button. I just set a time and, make sure I can calculate when that time, because I think it's in Mine said PDT, which is weird. I'm not in the Pacific time zone, but whatever. But I mean, yeah, when I thought it was going to go live, it went live and everything looks good. My 3 goals for this campaign was, number 1, check out Fund My Comic, see how we do there. Number 2 was try to offer a smaller book at a reasonable price. I'm not here to knock anybody, but I wanted to specifically make something that wasn't a $25 floppy. Just something that people can pick up and check out my writing. And that's my 3rd goal, which is just to get more people to look at something I've made. So It's a little 14-page book. It's a black and white ash can, but if we get to 200 backers, it's going to be in color.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's at a nice little price point to kind of,
Yeah, that
Get it
amazed
going.
me when I saw it. I was thinking when I checked it out, I was like, is that like a supplemental book or what? It's like very affordable. So yeah. So
Yeah, I
that's
checked out
awesome.
the prices too. I was like, wow. Let's like I said, it's not an overlay. I apologize, but I will mute myself. But let's check out the trailer.
Listening to sounds in the space that's vacant. Profound and deep underground is basements. And quiet is kept, what I found is sacred. A sage said silence is the sounds of patience. Listen.
We're gonna start that again because I totally boomered everything. There's a little box came up when I was trying to make it bigger on the StreamYard stream. So
I was
there
like, you
go.
want me to start rapping? I was like, what's going on?
No, I wanted to make the screen itself big,
I
but
could drop some.
I don't know why I'm boomering everything in life.
Kick it,
We'll just
Angela.
we'll keep. Please don't. We'll keep it at this size. Everybody, this like I said, I normally do it as an overlay. So yeah, Jason's a dummy. All right, let's do it again.
Listening to sounds in the space that's vacant. Profound and deep underground is basements. And quiet is kept, what I found is sacred. A sage said silence is the sounds of patience. Listen.
So who did your trailer?
I did.
Nice, man. Nice job.
Yeah, where did you get the music? Did you just find it somewhere? Can't remember the word of what that's called.
So this is actually a case of the title for this little story coming from the music. So that song, I knew the song already, and yeah. So like you had talked before about like, do I ever take inspiration from music? This is definitely. I mean, my entire everything I've written has been so inspired by music that this is probably the most prominent example since the song inspired the title of the book.
Nice. Yeah, I like it when stuff like that happens. I work with it. What's up?
I'm conflicted. I have 2 comments here. Holiday, just back the digital version, and Past Master Dan says he doesn't like gangster shit. So.
Well, thank you, Halder.
No,
Yeah,
no, it's really
Halder's
good. I love it.
Yeah,
Cool.
it turned out really nice, and everything goes with the beat of it, so it's nice. Yeah, good job. So tell us about Listen. Tell us about Listen.
So Listen is the beginning of the follow-up to The Long and Short of It, which was the first book that was published earlier this year. Which there's a link right there to grab a copy from Barnes & Noble.
Nice.
Cool.
What it is it's the introduction to the story. So the book has 2 murder mysteries in it, and the first one is in from start to finish is in the first 14 pages. So with this book, you're going to get a complete mystery, the murder and it being solved, but then the events of that mystery set up the larger mystery in the book. And the larger mystery is the woman that you see falling there. I took inspiration from a photograph that I think won the Pulitzer Prize called "The Most Beautiful Suicide," in which a woman just jumped off the Empire State Building, and she landed on the top of a car, but she fell in a way that like she looked beautiful. She was dead, but she landed in this very angelic pose, and people just ran up and started snapping pictures of her.
This happened in real life, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think I've heard of this before. So,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So this book is kind of taking like homage or inspiration from it, where a woman
Mhm.
falls to her death, and then the two main characters have to investigate what happened and find out, what happened to this woman.
Who's the artist on it?
So the cover is Kane and White.
Yeah, it looks like Keenan.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did the first book
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, nice.
Great.
I didn't know that. Keenan
Yeah.
White's good. Yeah.
Interiors are by Roel Roque, colors by Miriam Yasser. The colors on the cover are only going to be on this. So the actual book is going to be the same line art, but it's going to be a different colorist. So a
Okay.
little bit of an exclusive cover on this one.
Yeah, I mean, exclusive
Nice.
Keenan White cover. So yeah, everybody pick that up while you can, because I don't know, Keenan
Right
White's not
on.
doing a whole lot, because he's working with Eric July. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he still is, but I know he works with Eric July. So yeah, a little busy. Yeah, I really love these interiors. I love the grays. I know you say there's plans on if you get 200 backers to make this colored. Will you feature also, like, will you make the whole thing colored? Will you feature, like, do like a black and white and a colored one?
You know what? I might have to keep my ear to the ground and wait for feedback to answer that. I don't.
Hmm.
I think the problem is that while I think this looks good in grayscale,
It
this
does.
book, the colored version, it pops. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
Oh,
it's
that.
it's really kind of integral, especially to the first book too. So I might have to wait and see on that. Maybe I could
Well-
even give people an option, like I could add a tier to get it in black and white, but for the people who already got it before colors were unlocked, maybe just give them a choice.
Right. Yeah, I think, see, once again, even put a poll out on Twitter or do something like that in those regards, and like ask,
Yeah.
if you would like the black, once you hit the 200, if you would like the black and white also, and then just add the tier black and white copy.
Right,
then
right.
people
See,
can
this
back
is what
again.
the interiors look like in color.
They do look good, and I have the grayscale one of
yeah.
this in the background
good.
of us. So yeah, it is really good. It fits with the. Is there more down here? That's the cover. It fits very well with the grays because, like I said, I saw the gray tone to this, and it doesn't overpower it. It doesn't
Yeah.
overpower the image because it's not candy. You know what I mean? Like you get those colors that color like candy colors, like the '90s, like Image Comics type stuff back in the day. And sometimes that'll just destroy the mood of an image. And this is actually, it has a softer feel to it, but it really gives it a grounded look. It is nice, but.
Right, right.
I'm a line guy. I'm a black and white guy, so I really love that stuff too. So, usually, if there is a feature for the black and white and the color, 9 times out of 10 I get both. I just do because I want to see. It's in a way the black and white is kind of like an artist edition without being oversized, and then you can see the colors and appreciate what a colorist can bring life into a book, and you can see what they did. And you said this looks great. It does fit it. It does complement it very well.
Hail, Past Master Dan. Have a good day.
Later, Past Master. Thanks for coming on, man.
Cheers, Past
Hopefully-
Master.
I hope you backed. So because I also think because you said there's the black and white right now, and the book after this is New Harlem.
Yeah, so the first book, the long and short of it, that was one that already came out. One of the goals here is to kind of entice people for the second book, which this story is going to be a part of it, but it's going to be a much larger story.
Right, but
Probably like 90 pages again.
nice. So,
Are you
but New
creating
Harlem
like a
is like
universe?
no,
New
no, yes,
Harlem is like what?
no. Are you treating it like a
creating like a-
universe?
Yeah, you're kind of creating a universe here, or is this just more of like sequel type
Like city-based
situation
yeah.
story? Yeah.
So yeah, like it is a continuing story with a continuing universe. The first book is a self-contained mystery about a serial killer, and these two main characters, like, they first meet each other. The second book is really a continuation of their character dynamics.
Oh, interesting.
And like the situation is kind of awkward because one of them is like a police detective, but he's kind of young. He's a little bit naive. And then Coleman, the main character, is just somebody who lives in Harlem and has more of like a street sense. So the dynamic is kind of weird because the person who isn't a police detective knows a lot more about what's going on. And over the course of the first book, they start to antagonize each other a little bit and kind of get on each other's nerves because, well, they're both kind of jerks to different degrees. And the second book is like really kind of building that up because they're just like an old married couple. Like they're just fighting and scrapping and
Kind of
busting
like
each
Lethal
other's
Weapon.
chops. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Mel
actually,
Gibson and Danny Glover, was it?
yeah,
Danny Glover.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So in the very in book one, the story starts with Coleman, the main character, solving a murder, and that kind of gets the police officers attention. Like, wow, this guy's pretty sharp, and so they work together. In the beginning of this book, the same thing happens again, only this time the police detective says, "Oh yeah, this is Coleman. He's really good at solving murders that happen right in front of him involving people he already knows." So he's like basically just making fun of him or like kind of downplaying his ability.
Aw,
Nice.
hilarious.
Well, yeah, we're getting close, and I want to go over your other campaign, but let's get to the tiers so people can find out what they're going to get.
Oh,
yeah, I
cool.
forgot about it, dude. I was so busy talking about the book.
Yeah, so $3 you can grab a digital copy, give it a read.
Nice.
$7 you can just get like the actual book unsigned as is. $9 you can get a signed copy. I've always tried to do something special with my signatures. Like silver, I found works really well, but I really want to start looking into exploring other colored Sharpies, like just something that pops, like a yellow or like not gold. I think gold looks kind of cheap, but like I think a nice yellow.
On the book. Yeah, depending on the book.
Yeah. Like maybe print a black page on the inside and get a red Sharpie. That would look really good, like the black and red.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if Fun My Comic can feature this or not, but one thing, because you offer the tier itself as a signed thing, maybe you can have a drop-down box for an option between cover or interior.
Yeah, I have done polls on that, and everybody is perfectly divided on cover or interior.
I like cover because I even have a McFarlane's Spawn #4. It's black. It's got black cover. He signed it in that gold pen paint. It pops, man, and so I love cover signatures. It just makes makes the book look cool, but some people feel it devalues the book and they'd rather have it on the interior. So you're not wrong. That's why I think like having that option is good for some people because, like you said, it's divided perfectly. It really is. But that's cool. Yeah.
$19 you can get on the first book. I got some gold Zippo lighters, like they work and everything, with the New Harlem logo laser etched on it.
Oh, wow.
It was a giveaway item. If you join the mailing list, you would get a free Zippo. I've got 10 of them left. They're really cool. They work. And what could be, what's cooler for a detective story than having like a nice Zippo?
Nice.
Right?
Nice. And hey, you got to have a credit card to back, so you got to be over 18 anyway. So
yeah, exactly. So if you get kidnapped and tied to a chair, you can get out.
You can get out, just like Last Crusade.
Yeah.
And then
last one, $25 bundle. You get the 90-page book one and a copy of this.
Nice. That's actually a really good tier right there. People should pick that one up. Nice. Very affordable. I like it. Like you said, 14 pages is very affordable on top of that. So, and like you even said, if you live in Australia or something, where it costs $75 to ship a $5 book, you get the digital copy and you don't have to worry about paying that shipping. So it's there's the digital ones up here. But you can get the digital copy $3 and you can go ahead and read it. Have a good time, and then maybe pick up on what you can. Can you get this one on Amazon? The first one, the book.
I think it's basically everywhere. Like it's on Barnes and Noble. It's on Amazon.
You go. Yeah.
Even if you're in another country, their Amazon has it too.
Nice. I was gonna say you can get the digital copy of this, and then go ahead and get the Amazon. And there you go.
There's a Japanese site I've never heard of that has it. Yeah.
Nice.
My publisher did a good job of getting it everywhere.
Link is pinned to, like I said, link for this is pinned to the top of the chat and in the description below. You have another campaign in pre-launch right now.
I do. We were talking about the Max earlier. If you're a fan of the Max, it's going to be right up your alley.
Nice.
It's called How to Die.
Do you have can you pull it up?
I sent a link in the private chat.
Oh, you did? Okay, let me get it.
Or
Angela, can you get it? Are you there?
Yeah, what?
Can you get the link in the private chat? Pull it up,
For
please.
the new campaign?
It's his. Yeah, he's got a pre-launch up.
Oh, okay. You did mention that yesterday. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Did I? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and tell us about it while she pulls it up.
So it's like so it's about people getting superpowers, but it's more of a human story than that, because the way the world works, if people's lives are in such unbelievable turmoil and they are confronted by death, they can develop superpowers. So there's a hot goth chick on the cover. Her name is Madame Gray. She is, in reality, or she was, a homeless schizophrenic, a young woman. So schizophrenia means that like your brain misfires in interpreting reality. So she's confronted by death. She's able to defeat it, and she's able to control people's perceptions. So she's effectively turned her ailment in life into a weapon. By making you see her the way she wants to be seen. There's a character in there called the Black Ice. His life has just been nothing but pain. So when he is confronted by death, he gains the ability to like not just shapeshift, but change the density of his body. So he has both stretchiness, and he can, like a single cell in his body can have the density of like a dying star.
Wow.
There's a third character. His name is just Bishop, and his whole thing in life is that he's lazy. He's lazy and he procrastinates. So his life is just going down the crapper, and he gains the ability to kind of manipulate time. And so this is going to be a series about these three people. Kind of basically, it's a world where the very worst people are the ones that are becoming the most powerful, and who is going to save us from that? You know what I mean? So when the villains have all the power, who will kind of step up and take on that role of the hero? But this is definitely a mailing list that you're going to want to join, because it's book 2. And if you join the mailing list and get a copy of book 2, you get a free physical copy of book 1. So you don't have to worry about a catch-up tier. You can just do it. You can just get them both.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
What is? Oh, I am so sorry. What is the name of the campaign? I am so sorry.
Well, I have it pulled up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I took care of it. It's How to Die, number 2.
Okay.
I thought I heard of How to Die. The first one.
Okay, Kickstarter. Okay.
Wasn't that on Indiegogo?
It was, but it kind of it really started my questioning of Indiegogo as a platform.
I was going to say, wasn't that one of them that got like instantly like shadow banned or taken down, kind of because of the title almost? Nobody
could find it. So that kind of spoiled all of the momentum of it. I mean, there were other problems with it. My handling of the printing was really not good. So this campaign is really kind of, that's why I'm offering these, for free, as kind of like a, let's restart this and do it right this time. Gotcha. Kind of like take what I've learned and right. Make things right.
Do you have the same creative team on this?
No. We all new everything.
Okay.
That's the one thing I have. I'm not a fan of on Kickstarter is their pre-launch page really doesn't let you show a whole lot. So
a lot of those pre-launch pages, they're kind of like even Indiegogo's, like they changed theirs. I don't see, I'm doing wrong things. They changed theirs, and so it looks a little different now. And but then again, it is a pre-launch, so I don't know how much you want to show. I'm trying to get this link in the chat, unless you already got it, Angela.
I'm gonna get it in there for a second. Jeremy Burt's just joined in.
Jeremy Birch, yeah, he's
hey, Jeremy.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay, everybody go sign up.
Would we have time for a trailer show off or no?
Here's the thing. I usually go an hour, but if you want to go 2 hours, we'll go 2 hours. You know what I mean? There's really no set. There's no set time. Yeah. You
well,
can
it's another pretty cool trailer that I think you might like.
Let's do it. Let's pull it up. Let's do it. Everybody go sign up.
Dying Days of YouTube. He did the animations on it.
Dying Days is
very
good,
cool.
man.
So if it's a Dying Days trailer, you know it's worth watching.
You know it's worth it. Yeah. So everybody go sign up for How to Die, and don't forget to back listen. It's pinned to the top of the chat and then pinned to the description below. It's in the description below. And subscribe to Raiden Radio's YouTube. It's in there as well as his Twitter. So go follow him on Twitter as well, or X, whatever. It's Twitter. I don't know how long it'll take for people to start calling it X in real life.
I'm not ready for it.
It updated the icon on Shelby's phone. Mine, it's still Twitter. So
mine is updated too.
Yours is updated. You have an iPhone though. I wonder if it's iPhones that it's updating and Android is slow on the uptake because it's Twitter. Yeah, and if you're watching on Facebook, by the way, thank you very much. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button here. And check out Frog G, currently in Indiegogo. You can back it by clicking the link in the description because it's shadow banned and you can't find it if you just type it in. So, go back Frog G, Voodoo Gods and Magic, colors by Inkspots, drawn by me.
If I'm being honest, like Frog G getting shadow banned is really what set me off. You know what I mean? Like,
it set a lot of people off.
That's when it really went from like, this is kind of annoying to F you guys.
Yeah. A lot of people, dude. I even super chatted Shane to ask him what I should do, right when it happened, and he was like, "Frog G shadow ban." Like even he was shocked. So
I remember that actually when you said that.
Yeah, at Bancroft, everybody was super surprised when Frog G got shadow banned because it's an all ages fairy tale, So everybody's like, "What?" So yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for people who make books that it's really obvious that they're going to get shadow banned, and then when they get shadow banned, they're like, "How could?" Well, no, come on.
Yeah,
you knew what you were doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Frog, there's nothing on that campaign. Like Shane said, it could have been she's holding a severed head, but it's not bloody. And it's a fairy tale, like I said. Yeah. So he said maybe that could have been it, but we changed it and they still didn't swip it out. So we're like, whatever. It's pointless at this point. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I will say too. Don't Google How to Die. In Google because you get the phone number on who to call. So. Which is probably a good thing if you're,
you got the link in the chat. Everybody click that, and or just go to everybody, or you can go to. I think you can go to Fund My Comic, and or is it on Fund My Comic? Yeah, right. Or it's on Kickstarter.
Is it on Fund My Comic?
Okay, you go to it's on Kickstarter. You go to Kickstarter and type it in there probably, and How to Die #2, and it'll come up probably. So yeah.
But, will you eventually have How to Die on FMC?
Yeah, he said if you back #2. Eventually have it on Fund My Comic, you mean?
Yeah.
I interrupted you. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're good. Will you eventually have that on? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I mean, there's a hot lady on the cover, so I'm just being honest. I'm going for that Kickstarter audience.
Yeah. She kind of looks like is it Resident Evil?
Yeah.
The villain. Was she influenced by that, or is it just
absolutely unabashedly?
Oh, really?
The only thing I wanted to make sure of is that her fashion aesthetic would be more Edwardian, whereas I think the woman from Resident Evil is more Victorian.
Yeah. She's what? I was thinking more like late 19, maybe 19.
Yeah, early 1900s.
40s. Yeah, she's a very interesting look. Yeah, I always that was very that she was really spooky looking. She was scary. So, anyway, very cool.
Yeah, we'll love to have you on for when it launches. So.
Oh yeah.
Did you want to play the trailer, or are we over?
No, we're still live. I thought he was pulling up the trailer. He was the Dying Days one.
Oh, I put it in the private chat.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Rambling.
Sorry.
I'll get it. No, I got it.
You're pulling an Angela there.
I guess so. I don't want it to play right now. I want to. All right, let's go back. Come on, you can do it. There you go. And then I got to move it over to my other monitor. There we go. And make it bigger. There we go. All right. This is professional streaming, everybody. That's How to Die. There we go.
Only the best. Only the best.
Only the best. All right, let's hope I did this right. Very cool, man. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Dying Days
Yeah.
is good. Yeah.
So this is the second book, though. Is that what
Yep.
was that what I was reading? Okay.
Yep, but if you're on the mailing list, you get a free copy of book 1.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So I got to sign up on that mailing list. Yeah, that looked great. I love the artwork on that. That looked nice. And it was a fun trailer. Dying Days, you know, they're
Yeah,
good.
very
They're
cool.
worth it. So
Yeah.
if you need a
Yeah,
trailer,
Dying
definitely
Days.
hit them up. Yeah. Well, there you have it. We're at kind of the top of the hour. We got a lot of stuff accomplished, I think, today. It was a fun one. Angela, any questions for Raiden?
I have totally enjoyed learning about your project. Yeah, no, I had no other questions. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your books with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. And if either of you would like a digital as a proper thank you of, eudaimonia or how to die, let me know. I can get that over to you.
Nice.
Oh,
Well,
sweet.
we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
And
thank
before
you.
we go, one last question. If you could work with anybody, living or dead, artist or writer, who would it be?
I am going to say Ditko.
Oh,
Nice answer.
very cool.
Look at you.
I don't think I've heard Ditko yet.
I
That's
heard
awesome.
we had a Kirby. We had a Kirby last week, and now
Yep,
we got a
you did
Ditko.
it.
I like it. I like it. Appreciating that the legends, the giants that
Yeah.
came before us. So, any last words, Raiden?
Yeah, more than anything, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna have a lot going on over there, not just
Yeah,
related
please
to
like the
projects,
again.
but I make everything from movie reviews to ice cream reviews. Whatever dumb thing pops into my head that week, and I always try to keep things interesting.
Nice, love it.
Very
Pin to
cool.
it's in the description below, so go subscribe to his YouTube and follow him on Twitter as well. So thank you to the chat, thank you Angela, hail everybody, and
Yay, hail.
next week we have Shane Mess from Swarm. So keep your eyes on the grindstone and have a great one, everybody.
Hail.
Have a good day.
Long they kill me.